Hey everybody, what's going on? Hopefully everybody's having an awesome Tuesday. I started talking to myself all alone and it was kind of scary. Let me run my intro real quick and then we're gonna kick into what we're doing, how we're doing it, and it's gonna be amazing. Thank you. We're gonna let the room fill up too. You could be with anyone, I could be with anyone, you're you and me. You're you and me. You could be around me. You could be with anyone, I could be with anyone, you're you and me. You're you and me. All right, here we go. We're gonna do a little bit of little music so that way, like I said, we'll give the room a little opportunity to fill up so people can engage in the conversations. Valadia in the house. What's going on? Jody Periscala here. Lizzie B, Rosemont Harris. What's happening? We're like I said, we're expanding some of the focus of what we're talking about, what we're doing, how we're doing it. Because I think it's like the Brown family having that discussion and talking about what's going on with them is all good and everything, but at the end of the day, there's more to life than the Brown family. As I'm sure they would agree. They would say that until their money starts coming up short. Then all of a sudden it's gonna be, why ain't you guys talk about us? You just abandoned us. Before it was mind your own business, don't worry about what's going on. So we're gonna talk about some things, especially in line of on this channel. Like I said, we're going to have a whole discussion in a new, not necessarily a brand new direction, but certainly a new focus on some of the things that we're going to talk about. Hopefully, I'm kind of excited about it because as I'm gathering materials to roll out the new channel so that I can come up with actual content, things that I want to talk about. And again, this is where the 2-channel tier system will come into play because we're going to, and I'll cover this in a minute after the songs play. But as we move forward, a lot of what appears on this particular channel will be shorter videos, which are produced and put together so that folks can get a flavor of what it is we're doing and what we're talking about, some of the things we're focused on. On the other channel that is up currently, and some folks are in, some people aren't, is the My Take on Reality Live. That's where we're going to be doing all the live streaming. So like the call-in shows, the speak pipe shows, eventually the member shows, things like that will all be over on that other channel. So make sure you're subscribed to that channel as well, because otherwise you'll be missing some content. And the reason why, just to be very clear and give you guys a little bit of inside baseball, at least my thinking of how things are working. The reason why I'm separating the 2 channels is because there are people, diehard folks, it's like some of you guys who will tune in, watch the shorter videos, watch the lives, and everything is all good. So one-stop shop for those individuals actually makes sense. There are other people who only want to participate in the lives, and that's a smaller minority. But there's other people who only have about 15, 20 minutes to dedicate at most. And that's if it's a subject matter they're interested in, to dedicate to a longer video. So in an effort to try to meet everybody's needs and meet them where they are, I separated the 2 channels so that way everybody can get the kind of content and video enjoyment that they want. Hopefully that makes sense. Negla in the house. Megatron, what's going on? Kathy Ferran, hello. Big shout out. And we're going to do the hearts in the chat first after we come back from this very short break as we allow the room to fill up. I shall return.
Scream. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Scrolling through the tube, all the thumbnails flash. Cash doing flips, pranks gone bad, they crash. But now you landed here where the beats don't miss. Yeah, algorithm point, but you hit my abyss. Oh. Could've clicked the cooking show. Could've learned to tie a boat. But you chose this flow. So let's go, yeah. You could be watching any YouTube channel, but you're here with me, grab the remote, dismantle. Lost in the pixels, but the vibe too ample. You could've clicked away, now you're stuck in my scandal. ASMR whispers, mukbang feast. Unbox therapy or conspiracy priest. But now you're in a trap, this rap's your feast. Chewing on the words, every line unleashed. A million views, a billion streams. But don't hit the vein of these digital dreams. You could surf the net, but you stayed in my scheme. Caught up in my rhythm, my beat supreme. You'll be watching any YouTube channel, but you're here with me, grab the remote, dismantle. Lost in the pixels, but the vibe too ample. You could've clicked away, now you're stuck in my scandal.
Oh, you stuck in my scandal. That's my joint. Shout out to Just Scrapping for putting that together for me. Amazing producer, amazing producer. Let's run her second hit, and then we're gonna kick off the show. All right.
Could be watching chefs burn pots in the kitchen, or influencers fake fights for attention. Drama queens with crowns, but no conviction. But now you're here, my addiction. Could've clicked that prank, that mukbang feast, or streams of gamers slaying beats. But you're here with me, not scrolling free, not lost in streams or reality. You're here with me where you wanna be, out the algorithm, just you and me. Could be watching cats knock glasses down, or a dude trying to stunt, stressed as a clown. DIY hacks turn smiles to frowns, but you're vibing here, no fakes around sound. This ain't unboxing or ASMR. Don't clickbait titles, no rented cars. Realest channel in your repertoire. Stay tuned, superstar. But you're here with me, not scrolling free, not lost in streams or reality. You're here with me where you wanna be, out the algorithm, just you and me.
All right. We are back in the house. Hopefully everybody is getting set, got the popcorn ready, because we're gonna have a hopefully entertaining show tonight. Like, I think it's this actually is closer to the root of why I started the channel in the first place. Because despite what some people may believe, I did not start my YouTube channel to talk about the Brown family and the mess that they've created in their polygamous lifestyles. Like, I wasn't sitting around the lab one day just saying to myself, these damn Brown polygamists, somebody must stop them. That was not a thing. That was not my conversation. What I did notice was there were a lot of points that they were making that I fundamentally disagreed with. There are things that they were saying that just didn't make sense to me. So I started the channel, and I figured, even in my approach, that especially initially, I didn't get super specific, but I merely talked about things in general terms as far as how people approach these types of relationships and how it can translate to all relationships. Because I think that there's a common thread or a common barrier between how you treat people. And in the Brown family, you just had an instance where you had one individual who was just kind of shitty to multiple people. Whereas normally in most relationships, you have one type of person who's shitty to another type of person. And it's pretty much the damage is limited because of the limited number of participants in said relationship. In this particular relationship, Cody had no problem spreading the pain around. So that's how I kind of fell into the Brown family discussion, if you will. But again, part of the reason why I started the channel is because I wanted to have broader conversations. If you go back to my previous discussions and even some of my descriptions of videos, I always said that I wanted to have a broader conversation about some of these issues and topics, because it's easy for us, and this is where it kind of dovetails into the whole discussion of denial. It's easy for you to sit and look at somebody else's problems and say, wow, they're messed up. Wow, they're making bad choices. Wow, what are they doing? Wow, they're not spending time with their kids. Wow, they're not really trying their best at work. Wow, they're not doing anything that they need to do to move their lives forward. Then when you look at what they're doing, they're not spending time with their kids either, because they're at the bar looking at the guy who's not spending time with his kids, criticizing him as both of them's kids are doing whatever, who knows what out in the street, or they're not paying attention to what's going at home, or they taking their wives for granted, and they're talking about, oh man, he taking his wife for granted. That's only not because he, the person who's criticizing, say, a Cody Brown is concerned about the care and welfare of that relationship and how this woman is being demeaned or mistreated. What he's concerned about is, wow, she's kind of hot, and if I had a woman like that, I would treat her better. That's a different thing. That's a different observation. You know what I mean? This is actually the plight of the nice guy, which I guess I could do a video on, or at least a conversation about. Like, the plight of the nice guy curse, as I call it, is that there's always the guy who will introduce himself to a young lady. I say young lady because it's just my perspective from being on my side of the fence, playing in my yard. It's always the guy who introduces himself as a young lady and comes off as the knight in shining armor, and whatever her boyfriend or love interest is doing, he's doing the exact opposite, and he would be the perfect boyfriend. And I don't understand why this guy isn't paying attention to you. He's such an asshole, and he needs to, tighten it up and get down with you, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then they have all this criticism, but they never have a girlfriend. They never have anybody they're dating, and they're wide open. If you're such a good dude, how come you don't have the right people? Oh, that's because the person that I'm in love with is already tied up with some jerk. And the reality of it is that, yeah, would that person be better? Maybe, because he's actually interested in the person that he's trying to convince he would be different for. But how long would that actually last? Because sooner or later, sooner or later, you realize that the person that you're so enamored with isn't necessarily worthy of that time either. So you create a person, and that ideal person is the person you want to have a relationship with. Then when you actually start that relationship with that person, you realize that they're actually a person and not this idealized version that you've created for yourself. In which case, now all of a sudden you don't want to have the relationship. You don't want to keep it going. You want out, but it's too damn late. Let me do some things. I wanted to pull up. Let me do it this way because I have some talking points, because sometimes people come into the show a little late and they might not necessarily know what we're talking about, but they want to call into the show and have the conversation and participate. So what I've done is I've created some things to post so that way we can kind of, one, stay on topic. Two, we'll have like things that we'll discuss during the course of this conversation, and it'll make sense if you want to pull like that way too. You don't have to take a whole bunch of copious notes in order for you to be able to participate. All right, let's see. Let me go back. I have to check some of the things. Oh, we had Negla 3 gifted one my take on reality membership. Thank you so much, Negla. I appreciate you. Negla, long-time listener, long-time supporter of the channel. Definitely show up and show out on Saturdays when we have our round table meetings. Negla is never short of an opinion, which is what I like. She never come in and play short, because that's what that's the cost of admission. We also had, for those who don't know, let me give Negla a little something. Hold on one second. Give Negla a little something. Thank you so much, Negla, trying to keep the party going. I see you. Negla like tip the glass. Big shout out to Jody Periscala. She was here last week for the call-in show, and she gave a very generous super chat, which is awesome, and I appreciate it. Just because in the transition, we are running on fumes, as far as production is concerned, but we're gonna get it done either way. Aside from that, Jody Periscala actually called in. For those who don't know, Jody Periscala called in and was dropping bombs. very interesting conversation. We had a lot of fun. It was towards the end of the live, and I look forward and I encourage her to call in more because, like I said, it was super interesting. So let me give Jody a huge shout out. You know, first time caller, long time listener. Holla at your boy. Yeah, I love to hear from folks. And I want to be very clear. Like you guys, hopefully the way I'm conducting the show and with my temperament and everything, you guys don't feel intimidated about calling in. I want to make it very clear. I want to make it very clear from the onset what type of channel I hope to run. On this channel, I do not mind people having differences of opinion. I do not mind people having different viewpoints. If you disagree with me, you can call in and tell me, James, I think you can say, James, I disagree with you. I slightly disagree with some of the things you said. Or you can call in and say, James, quite frankly, or my favorite, with all due respect, you full of shit. I love when people tell you with all due respect right before they disrespect you. That's my personal favorite. But the whole thing is that you have every right to feel how you want to feel. And I will not cut you, bang you, cuss you out because you disagree with something I said. Okay? I'm not running that kind. I don't live my life that way. I don't live my life that way. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's not productive. You don't learn anything. You're not growing. If you're not encountering new ideas, how do you test the ideas that you have? How do you test your principles? How do you test your positions? If you never run into somebody who says, you know what, I hear what you're saying, but I think this part of it may be true and this part may be wrong, or this part is awesome, this part needs some work. How do you improve those positions? Right now, we're in a this is one of the weird things about social media, and then we'll get into the subject matter. I'm sorry, guys. But this is one of the weird things about social media. One of the powerful things about the internet. The internet, because I was around when it was invented, that old, yes. When the internet first came out, it was sold to us as a way for us to be able to communicate around the world. It was supposed to increase communication and understanding and tolerance, right? But because people are who they are, the internet was pretty much driven by adult material. I've said this before. That's why the internet is as pronounced and as well funded as it was, because of horny bobs in their mama's basements. But when push came down to shove, what occurred was the business platforms they generated from the internet business and the tech bros, like Facebook. What was it at the time? I forget the one thing they had, AOL and all that. All that from its onset, they have always tried to find a way to keep people engaged on their platforms. And as the easy means for them to do it, they will always siphon material that you enjoy, people that you agree with. This is why we have such siloing when it comes to political positions, relationship positions, etc., because you're only hearing one side of any argument. When I start covering some of the true crime stuff, if I go to a site and I just keep watching videos about men attacking women, that's what I'm going to get. And it'll seem like every time you turn around, a man jumping on a woman. Vice versa, if I'm focused primarily on and consume primarily videos of women acting inappropriately and doing the same thing to the guys, all of a sudden it makes every woman in the world seem crazy. This is how channels and groups like the Manosphere have been pushed into the forefront of mainstream consciousness, because people who consume that material, that's all the material they consume. They hear nothing but women ain't nothing. They trying to use you for your resources. Women should be just pretty. They should be seen and not heard, etc. And then when you start looking at that, and that's all you're hearing, you start to believe it. Then they give example after example, from prank shows to just a bunch of 40-year-old men yelling at 20-year-old women, calling them all kinds of 304s. Look on your phone, you'll see the numbers. HO. You'll see what it means. But they'll do that kind of thing, and then all of a sudden, or you just flip it around. You just take the number, write it down, and flip it over. You'll see what I'm saying. 304. But it'll come off that every woman is that way. And it actually, that stems back to, again, like some of the adult material, like how so many relationships became infected and destroyed because of adult material, because people didn't look at those relationships as fantasy. Instead, they started to interpret them as this is how life and sexuality works. And that's not the case. It's like watching a kung fu movie, thinking that if you take a week's worth of kung fu classes, you're gonna be able to jump on top of a building or beat everybody up at the bar. Like it's just not. That's not how it works. But thank you guys so much. Let's get into it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Hold on a second. Yeah, MySpace. Thank you, Rosemont Harris. I was like, why can't I think of this stuff? Yeah, I didn't jump on social media till much later, but I was aware of a lot of this stuff. Miss Betty. Okay. Hopefully she's doing well. I know she's down there. Let's give her a shout out too, because again, part of the reason why I'm moving past just the Brown family as well is just because as we move into more serious times, I think we have to start having a little more serious discussions. Because the Brown family, they're going to be okay. Okay. And if they're not okay, then that's shame on them, because you guys have had access to millions of dollars. And so if you're not doing okay, that's kind of not, no disrespect, all due respect. That's kind of your fault, because I wasn't given $1 million in a $1 million opportunity and then let somebody run through my bank account. Sorry, not sorry. But people are we just have to recognize that people are really struggling out here, and shit's getting real, and it's getting real jacked up. So this is not a, being distracted is fine, but I don't have nothing against some of the distractions, reality TV, football games, and so on and so forth. But we have to have real conversations as well. But before we get too far into the tooth, let me give the hearts in the chat. Hearts in the chat is a little segment I like to do to show support. Speaking of supporting people, as Carmel Cuties, one of our moderators, says, make sure you check in on your strong friends, people who seem like they have everything figured out, but may not, and may be struggling in their own right. And it's important for us to look at them and be there for them in their time of need. And trust me when I say this. The people who will seem like they have the most stuff together, because the economy is jacked up and shit is expensive, and trying to figure out how to put food on the table, roof over the head. And if you've always been a person who's been solving problems, it's hard for you, even because of pride. And this gets into some of the subject matter we're going to talk about in a minute. Because of pride, it's hard for you to come out and say, yeah, I'm struggling too. Yeah, I'm coming up short too. Because you're the person everybody comes to for a loan, before money, because you already have your finances figured out. And now you're in a situation where, the money's not going as long as it used to. You're putting too much money in your gas tank, but you don't have any money when you get there. Okay. Or you're working a job to go to work. You're paying to go to work because of gas costs, rent, et cetera, et cetera. You're paying for things that's not living. You're paying to survive. And it could be very difficult on you, and you don't have that bandwidth to be able to share that with people. It could be very hard. So make sure you're checking on your strong friends. Also, because like I said, shit is hard out here, y'all. Also, I want to give just general support to anybody who needs it. Not everybody's going to come up and say, guys, I need you guys to put some hearts in the chat for me. That's going to make my day. But it may just help to see that we're supporting each other. So let's take a moment, just throw some hearts in the chat for individuals who need it. Also, I want to put list some people whose names have come to my attention. I don't want to get into their specific situations. It's not my place to talk about their business. But some people it just might be life changes, which can be difficult, situational changes, or maybe they're thinking about moving, changing jobs, changing school districts, whatever the case may be, or they're just having a tough time. Either way, we want to give them some love. So we have Kitty, Negla 3, Brittany Not Brittany, Jody Periscala, Carmel Cuties, Megatron, Miss Betty, Kathy Ferran, Allison Gaines, Marlo Peterson, and Team Ty, Lit Mom, and Susie Q. I appreciate you guys. And I want to let you know we support you. And in some cases, I just want to tack in a group too, especially as things are starting to heat up around the world with some of our decisions as a country and as a nation. I want to send a shout out, put some hearts in the chat for not only service people who are serving in the military and making that sacrifice, but I also want to acknowledge and put hearts in the chat for their family and friends in their communities. Because anytime we send somebody off to war, or we ask somebody to make that sacrifice and step into the pathway of danger, we should always acknowledge that it's not just that person. If that person is lost, then family has lost, friends have lost, communities have lost. People will pass, and the communities that they come from are weaker. So it's not just about us, bringing victory and justice to the world and getting all the oil we can consume or resources we consume. It's about us making our country better, our cities better, our families better. And in order for us to do that, we need these individuals because they're a critical part of who we are as a nation. They're the fabric of our nation. And as we send these young folks off to fight and possibly die, get maimed, come back completely different, because not everybody who goes to war, gets blown apart physically. Some come back from war and they're blown apart mentally. I've seen that personally. When people come back, they're not the same person that left. They're wired different. They're a different person. So we have to acknowledge that loss as well. So let's put some hearts in the chat for those individuals. All right. Thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate you. Again, let's keep all those people in our hearts. People are going through tough times because, you don't have to be in a war zone to be fighting a war. Why is this kept? All right. Let me check. I got to close some things. All right. So, James, what are we talking about? What are we talking about, James? Let me pull something up. I want to pull up the some of the talking points, and I'll just run through the talking points that I have, because I think it'll just be easier for folks to follow along. And follow along. And like I said, I don't want anybody to feel like they got to take notes or whatever. And you'll be updated as to what we're talking about. All right, so let's kick this bad boy off, get this done so I can get some phone calls in and hear from you guys. Yeah, right. I'm going for the most interactive channel on YouTube. Let me see. Hold on one second. All right. Damn it. I think I messed up. You ever hid something from yourself? Holy smokes. I feel like I hid something from myself. Okay, here we go. All right. I'll make myself a little bigger. All right, here we go. So when we talk about the power of denial seems it's far to go. All right, so when we talk about the power of denial takes many different forms. I think that, you know, the most notable, most obvious forms of denial sometimes can be related to things like addiction. Um, you know, people, oh, I don't have a problem. And you were like, dude, you got a problem. Like, you know, hanging out too much, drinking, and you doing these substances and stuff. That's all you want to do. Or you just stay in the house. You got a problem. And, you know, the hardest part, so because even when you're helping a friend seek help for this type of addiction, like we'll run through some of it as examples. When you're trying to help people find help for their addictions or poor habits, one of the hardest things to do is to convince them that they actually have an addiction, that there is a problem, right? Because irregardless of how you feel about it, what your observations are, they won't stop or seek treatment until they feel that they need treatment. And the only way that they feel they need treatment is for them to actually recognize that, hey, I have a problem. I need to get help. I need to do something to fix this problem. Right. And let me see. Real quick. I think I like that better. Yeah, we'll see. We'll go through it, and as we get the phone calls, we'll flip it around. I don't know. We'll see. But it really helps if they recognize they have a problem. Why do you bring up addiction dating? That's the most extreme case. That's true. But as we narrow it down, think about the times when you've been talking to a friend and you've been talking to them about their relationship, and you know, you're looking at them like your partner is dog shit. Like they are dog water. Why are you in this relationship? You're smarter. You're too smart. You're too good. You're too kind to spend your time, or more to the point, waste your time with this particular individual. Why are you doing it? And one of the most difficult things to do is to get them to see that the relationship that they're in is a problem and they need to do something about it. Let me say that one more again. The hardest thing to do is to get them to see that the relationship they're in is a problem and they need to do something about it. So, in that sense, they find themselves in denial. Right? My relationship is great. You just don't understand. You don't see how awesome he is. Yeah, you see like this one blurb where maybe he or she is yelling at me, embarrassing me in public, or I come by every now and again, look clawed up, or you know, my eyes are black and I'm wearing sunglasses, but you don't understand how he is or how she is when we're alone. And how much they actually do for me. You don't see the things I do to them while I'm driving them crazy. Denial, denial, denial. And it goes to the first point. Why do people choose denial over accountability? You know, because if you start to tell the truth about your situation, you start to face the reality of what's actually going on, then you're almost compelled to do something about it. Right? If you're sitting there saying there's no problem, there's no issues, everything is fine, everything is good, stop worrying about it, then you don't have to work on anything. You can go to lunch. But if you say that this relationship isn't working out because this person is dangerous or this person is destroying my self-esteem, because there's more than just physical danger. There's more, because you can kill somebody, you could physically keep somebody alive for 80 years and destroy their spirit, destroy their heart, destroy their drive, destroy their securities. You can keep somebody alive and you survive for 20 years and all those things be destroyed. So damage and abuse takes many different forms. So if you recognize that there's a problem, it behooves you to try to fix that problem. So from that respect, I think that's why, you know, and this is very cursory. Like this is, he's not getting into the deep of the reasons of blah, blah, blah. This is an overview. How ego and fear keep people stuck. One, if you are recognizing that there's a problem and you're starting to get a hint that there's a problem, then it begs the question, is this problem too much for you to handle? Is this problem stronger than you? This problem ain't stronger than me. I'm the strongest there is. I'm like the Hulk. Hulk, strongest there is. Right? That's how you feel. So you refuse to let the problem go. And then tied to that, in some cases, is a fear. We criticize, or at least I've criticized the Brown family, OG3, for staying in these types of relationships much longer than they should have. I stand by some of the stuff I said. I stand on it, and I'm willing to talk to them about it and say it to their faces. You stayed in that shit too long. But I understand why people do it, because it is scary for you to sit there and say to yourself that I'm willing to walk away from this relationship and potentially, and this is why I've always given, like, I give my hats off and salute to the OG3 for leaving, but my heart and my support and more importantly, my admiration goes to the folks, the ladies, and the young people who are in these situations, don't have the financial backing, wherewithal, or opportunities that the Brown families had at their disposal, and decide that, you know what, my self-esteem, my peace, my children, my safety is more important than me having a place to stay or me sliding into a beautiful home or my own personal home. I'm making the choice that I'm going to put myself out there so that I can get out of this bad situation. And and any change, and this is what I said during the hearts in the chat, any change can be scary. Having a job and then leaving that job, even though it's a shit job with a shit employee, the coworkers all asses, you know the devil that you're dealing with. And in many cases, it's easier to deal with the devil that you know than the one you don't, the angel that you don't. And then what is the one thing that everybody always says, the old saying, you know, the grass is always greener on the other side. So I know where all the potholes are in this job, but if I go to this new job, it looks beautiful. It looks awesome. It looks like it's an amazing opportunity. But when I get there, maybe I just don't see the potholes from where I'm standing. And those potholes might not be potholes. They could be big ditches with tiger traps in it. That's going to, knock me off. That might be it for me. So it's easier for you to stay where you are out of fear. You feel stuck and you don't leave. And a large part of that, too, requires for you to deny reality. You deny what is actually going on, because otherwise it'll make you crazy. So in order for you, I think a defense mechanism people have is that they'll deny that there's a problem, even though whether it's because of ego, fear, or whatever the case may be, it's easier just to deny that there's a problem or deny the reality of what is actually going on. Oh, Cody loves me. Oh, Cody, when he's with us, he looks us in the face and we see the special bond in relationship. Yeah, but when he's with Robin, he's not only giving her the special bond in the relationship, he over there spending cash. He over there, her and her kids taken care of. Oh, we're all look out for each other. Then why are you sitting there eating a can of tuna and she's over there eating batuches? You know what I mean? She's over there eating French restaurant. You over there eating leftovers they shouldn't even be leftovers. You know what I mean? Or not eating leftovers because you didn't have enough. So I'm just saying, like, just gotta be honest with your situation. As we get into the thing, let's talk about some of the solution. Why honesty creates freedom, growth, and healthier relationships. From the onset of my channel, there's something that I've always said, whether I was covering 90 Day Fiance, Love After Lockup, Sister Wives, Poly Family, Seeking Brother Husbands, or, whatever show I was covering. It all fell back onto one underlying principle that I think is true. The best way for you to approach your relationships, even self-esteem issues, or how you deal with people and see things, or as I quote oftentimes the great American poet, you trust people to be them, and I trust myself to see them. The best way for you to be able to train that skill is for you to train in honesty. Train in honesty. What do I mean by that? When you are honest with yourself, it gives you the freedom and the ability to be honest with other people. If I can look at myself and say, these are all the things I need to work on in order for me to get to where I want to be, then when somebody else comes to me with a bunch of excuses on why they're not doing the stuff that they need to be, if I'm brutally honest with me, then I'm going to be brutally honest with you. And I'm going to tell you, like, I'm hurting my own feelings. So, you know, I don't care about feelings I can't feel. So it's that way. One, two, it sounds a lot crueler than it is. Because one of my pet peeves is I hate people who say cruel things under the color of being honest, just a way for them to be cruel. Because the second you turn it around and you give them that honesty back, they lose their mind, they go crazy and start crying. Right? So I'm saying be honest with yourself, be honest with your situation. When you're honest with yourself, you get to know yourself, your desires, the things that you want, the things you will accept, and the things that you will not accept. That's important. The things that you will not accept, the things that you will not tolerate, the things that you recognize. If I get involved with this type of person and they believe this or they practice that or their behavior is such and such, that's not where I want to be. I see where that's going. I don't want that destination. Then you're honest with yourself from the beginning. You don't spend 10, 15 years trying to change a person. Let people be who they are. And if you want that person in your life, you accept that person for who they are, not who you hope they could be or the potential that they have in 5 or 10 years and after they settle down. And because at that point, this is when we start talking about like real life examples of denial ruining people's lives. This is an example of that. When you start lying to yourself and you allow yourself to be deceived and you're not honest with your situation, then what occurs is you start making excuses as to why you can, not only why you can stay in a relationship, but you start to create a persona or a person who doesn't exist in the person that you want to be with. The person you want to be with is this made up person that you've made excuses for over the course of years, or if not decades, on what they believe, what they think, what they do, why they're acting the way they're acting. You've created all these excuses and reasons. And then by the time that you realize that, hey, they're nothing like the person that they're fundamentally disagreeing with the person that I've created for them. They must have changed. They didn't change. That's who they've always been. This is actually one of the talking points that I had when we were talking about, again, I'll tap on Sister Wives because so many of you from Sister Wives universe. But when we were talking about Cody and the Sister Wives stuff, this is one of the things that I kept saying. Everybody keeps telling me and preaching to me about how Cody used to love these 3 women and he was so deeply in love with these women. And Robin came in and spoiled everything. I disagree. I think that everybody in this situation was living in denial. Everybody in this situation had created a system and universe in which they could exist because otherwise they would be damn fools. You would be a freaking fool to have 6 kids for a dude who can barely stand you, much less not be in love with you or love you or put you first. You would be a damn fool. So in order for you to say, I'm not a damn fool, I haven't been tricked, you have to create the type of person who would love you regardless, the type of person who would do anything for you, the type of person who's a great father, awesome companion, awesome husband, just a generally good guy. Because otherwise, there's something wrong with your decision making. And all that happened in my perspective is that by the time he met Robin, it wasn't just Robin wasn't the only catalyst that happened during that time. What else happened during that time? Cody was exposed to not only attention and fame that he never experienced, that always desired but never experienced, but he was also introduced to a shit ton of money opportunity. Money and power gives you the ability to be the person that you always want to be, that you actually are. If you got it, what do you call it? FU money. If you have FU money, you don't care what people think about you. So you can be the person. You can say the jerky stuff. Speak your mind. Because you don't care what's going to happen. I'm not going to lose my job. I'm a billionaire. What's going to happen? It's not like people going to stop taking my money. So you don't care. And by the time he got that money, it wasn't just the fact that he had Robin. It was the fact that he didn't care about the OG3 anymore and try to make them happy because he had evolved past them. They were no longer useful. And this is where, when you say that, like, well, how did they stay in a relationship for another 15 years on top of the time that the show started? He was spending all that time with Robin. Because at the end of the day, they were all in denial. No, he's going to go back to the person he was. No, he was always an amazing father. I just want him to be that person again, etc., etc., etc. Again, my position is, and this is kind of jerky, might be a little controversial, I don't think he ever was that person. I think that when he sat there on that mountainside or that or Coyote Pass, and he said the act is easy to marry, when she said she was leaving, that's what he was talking about. Because I've been acting for the last 30 years. I've acted like I liked you women for the last 30 years. The act is easy. The act is obvious. Well, it wasn't obvious 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when you were sitting here crying, talking about, I'm waiting for you to come around. It wasn't obvious then. Another principle that I always relied on is that when it comes to, and I'm touch on this and I'll open things up. When you touch on like cons, when you touch on lies specifically, lies only work when people want to believe them. Let me say that one more time. Lies only work when you want to believe them. Last time. Lies only work when you want to believe them. Why do you say that, James? If you don't want to believe, like I get a phone call, I jump up, I'm sitting there watching TV with my wife. I get a phone call, I jump up and run out of the house, and I start talking on the phone outside on the porch. If she's looking at that situation and she's just taking it all in, James, you've been acting funny, you've been going to the gym, you've been buying new clothes, and she's putting all these little factors together. Now all of a sudden I'm taking secret phone calls. Something is going on, and I need to know what's going on. Perceptive, paying attention. She's being honest with herself and the situation. She's not giving me cover of excuses. So when she asks those questions, they'll be very pointed, direct, and will most likely, maybe not most likely, but they'll at least begin the process of her attaining the truth. There are people who could walk in mid-stroke on their partner. The partner jump up, oh, baby, you confused. Oh, baby, oh. Still swinging. Baby, you confused. Who you gonna believe, me and your lying ass eyes? And if you're willing to believe that, then you're willing to go along with the fact that maybe you got shit wrong. Maybe you misinterpreted. When he tells you it's a one-time thing, it never happened before, even though they got to stand, like you walk into a hotel, they got a standing room reservation at the local Mosey Wozy no-tell motel. But this is the first time they ever did anything. Yeah, first time. Yeah, he made a mistake. Yeah, he said never going to talk to her again. Then you see him walk through the door. Like, as long as you're willing to believe it, then the lie works. This is where, like, denial, not facing the truth, not being accountable comes into play. When Cody sits there and says, I paid attention to all you people the same way. I did what I needed to do, and it was amazing, and I don't know why y'all tripping. And these ladies were like, yeah, he is fair. He does spend time with us, and they cover for him. That's because they're willing to accept the lie that he's telling them. And that goes again to the fact that you're not being honest with yourself, and you're not being honest about your situation, which means that you can't be honest about the person that you with. and you're going to get crushed. And then we'll close it out and we'll get into the phone calls. Why is self-awareness one of the most important life skills? There's a saying, you don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. If you don't know what you want out of life, and this is one of the things that the pet peeve, guys, parental pet peeve. Can I do it? Can I talk about it? If when I'm talking to my kids and I ask a simple question like, what do you want for dinner? Or what do you want to do? Or like, what's going on? Or whatever the case may be. What are your thoughts on this? You know, especially things that deal directly with them. What are your plans for the future? Right? I don't know. I don't know. You don't know what you want to eat. You don't know what you want to do for dinner. You don't know what you want to do for your career. Well, who the hell should I ask? Right? You have to know what it is you want to get out of life, what direction you want to take your life in, what you want out of your partner. Whether you want to be an equal partner with somebody and have a true partnership, whether you want to be subservient to a partner, or whether you want your partner to be subservient to you. You have to understand what it is you want so that you can get out of that experience what you want to get out of that experience. And the only way that works is if you are self-aware and you understand that, you know, this is what I actually want. One of the most annoying things to me, especially growing up, one of the most annoying things to me being a man of the word, was always people who assume that every man wants to be with or entertain multiple women at one time, right? And 90% of the time that you hear somebody say that, especially young men, when they say that, oh, yeah, I'm going to go over there and get them 2 women to go home with me and we're going to blah, 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 whatever, right? Are they friends? We could all be friends, et cetera, et cetera. Is that they don't have an understanding. They're not self-aware. And they don't have an understanding of what they actually want and what they're actually asking for. In the case of like I said, we'll refer back to Cody Brown as a branch to cross this Rubicon. You know, Cody had 4 wives. That must be so interesting. You got 4 wives. Yeah, the upside is you get to sleep with 4 people. Downside is you got to deal with 4 people. Because everything ain't boom, boom, boom. Let's go back to the room. You have 4 different hopes, 4 different desires, 4 different dream sets. You have 4 different people who have, especially as you start to have families and kids who want to do different things for their kids in different directions. You'll have 4 households pulling you in 4 different directions. And it's up to you to try to cultivate an environment where not only they can express themselves, be themselves, grow in themselves, and you don't dim their light, but you guide them in a way that everybody stays on the same track and moves in the same direction. That shit is hard. That is hard. People have asked me before, I've had the conversation before, James, would you consider doing a poly relationship? No. I have zero interest in doing a poly relationship. Why do I have zero interest in doing a poly relationship? Is one, it's too much time. 2, I don't have that kind of time. But 2, I recognize the damage that it would cause because I recognize my personal limitations. I recognize that if I'm being honest with myself, I am not enough of a person, human being, man, whatever you want to say, partner, to be able to split myself among multiple people and give each one of those people the time, attention, and love that they deserve. That they deserve by simply being my partner. Because I approach it that if you're my partner, there are things that you're entitled to. If I choose to make you my partner, there are things that you are entitled to as far as my time, attention, care, affection, support, etc., etc. You're entitled to that. And I can't guarantee that if I'm splitting that amongst multiple people, through multiple families, through multiple kids, through multiple everything. And that's just me being honest with myself. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I got the shit all figured out, because it's easy. Like, I'm sure Cody would agree. It's easy for me to sit here on the sidelines and criticize all the shit he's doing and decisions he's making, because I'm not in that decision. But what's easier for me is to not put myself in a situation where I have to make those decisions. That to me is a smarter play. I don't have to put a pork chop necklace on and some steak draws and then crawl into a bayou and realize that I don't want to wrestle alligators. How the hell I'm gonna get out of here? What I do is I put the steak on the grill, keep my ass on land. That's how you do it, right? You just, watch this dummy try to outswim some amphibians, right? So no, it's not like he didn't. It always amazes me that Cody comes out and does these like tell-alls, and he brags on the fact that, yeah, I did this, and I chose to do this, and I can't be criticized because I chose to do it. Like it's some kind of bravery thing. It's a stupidity thing. You were stupid because you should have known that you didn't have the skill set or the ability to maintain those families. And that's just you being honest with yourself. And by you being honest with yourself, it not only creates a scenario where you are making things better for you, but you're also improving the lives of the people that you supposedly care about. Because you're being straight up about the things that you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish. You're being straight up about these things. But let me open up the phone lines. I'm going to drop the link here. All right. Here's the link. Drop it up on top of the page. All right. There we go. Yeah, so it's good times had by all, hopefully. All right. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on that, guys. You are free to call in. I'll put the talking points up if you guys want to discuss those. I'll make them bigger. There you go. All right. Hey, Linda, what's going on?
Oh, okay, I'm going good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, because I barely hear you. I don't know what's up with my phone.
Oh,
so okay. I know we got like about 5 different things here to talk about, but the honesty. So I got a story time about the honesty. So when I was young and dating 100 years ago, I was always very open and honest, probably a lot nicer than I am now, but I was never very trusting, which is one of my better qualities. I was working at my first facility and we were having a billing problem, and I just took it upon myself. I contacted the GHI rep, right? Mm. So we were told the person's coming, and so we all got ready, the outpatient billing. And I walk into the conference room, we all walk in, I see this fine looking dude. I'm like, oh my God, they sent him Prince Charming. The way I like him, tall, dark, and handsome. I kept it professional. I didn't act a fool because I was, we have a very small community hospital. We're trying to get our money. So he called everybody to let things know where they were, what was going on with the claims. And then he called me, and then he called me again. And he's like, oh, I'm calling you for a different reason. I've never done this before, but I would like to ask, could we go out to dinner? And I wasn't going to say no. I was like, it's okay. We went out to dinner. We were talking. He's telling me about himself. He's going through a legal separation. He's getting divorced. And I just looked at him. I'm like, please don't bullshit me. If you're married, tell me now, because I'm not with it. I don't share. I don't play well with others. Mm-hmm. No. We go on a second date. And, he gave me his mother's phone number, his mother's name and his mother's phone number, and said where she lived. And, this is before cell phones, it was during beepers, but it was at a time before 9/11 where you could really check on everybody. Now you can't do it with the data centers. So he told me where she lived and whatever. I went on. I went to my friend in IT. We went and we looked. Okay, so yeah, his mother does live there, and we knew a little bit with the younger brother. So when he asked me on the third date, I called his mother. I said, listen, this is who I am. Your son gave me the number. He's telling me that he's, divorced. He's legally separated. He's getting a divorce. This is true. I said, because I'm not with that. I told her very respectfully, I'm not trying to be the side chick. There's a way we say it in Spanish because he was, he was Ecuadorian. I'm Puerto Rican. Same thing. We speak the same language, right? But I spoke to his mother and I let her know that woman swore on God, her younger son, and on everything that no, he's telling the truth. He's going through a legal separation. I said, all right. He had 2 kids, we arranged our schedule, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward like almost 6 months in, we're serious, we're dating exclusively, we know when we're going to see each other, at work, and I was taking classes and he had his 2 kids. And, it was about the time where we said at this time, if we go at this juncture, that I would meet his kids. But I'm like, maybe wait until it's serious. I was thinking, if it led to marriage, then before we got engaged, we would. That's how serious and we were. So on a day that he wasn't supposed to see me, I'll never forget, pouring rain. And I knock on my door. I thought it was maybe my neighbor's kids. There was a man I opened up the door and I didn't recognize him. I realized that I never saw him in street clothes, like, Tim's, jeans, and a bandana, a double take. I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing here? I didn't expect you, right? I said, I almost didn't recognize you. Like, I never saw him out of his suit or being well dressed. Well, I came by because I wanted to talk to you. Okay. I'm thinking, oh, so we're getting serious here. We're going to talk about something else. So he sits down. He's telling me he wants to go to school. He wants to get his master's in economics because he feels that, GHI is something, things are going to change. That's not what he wants. I'm like, that's good. He says, well, that means I'll see you less. I'm like, I'm fine with that. A master's program is probably, 9 months. At that time, I think it was just like 9 months or a year. I'm like, I could deal with that. And he was just like, yeah, but I'm not going to see you. We're not going to. I said, listen, we could work it out. It's not like it's going to be forever. And when someone is pushing for a reaction that you're not giving, and it took me a minute. I'm like, well, okay, so why is that so wrong? Well, I don't want to hold you up to these things you want to do. I'm like, I'm doing what I want to do now. So what's really bothering you? He said, well, I'm getting a lot of pressure from my kids. I said, what? Did they want to meet me or something? No, they want me to reconcile with their mother. So, 6 months in, so when he said that, it was just like, okay. When your heart goes to your feet and then it just rolls down the block, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So I shut up and I let him talk. My children, they're not adjusting to this and that. And I'm like trying to be considerate. I said, well, maybe you need to do counseling or whatever, but how do you feel? So, and we're going on. And then I just finally cut to it because I'm the rip the Band-Aid off. I said, well, how do you feel about it? Do you feel you think you're going to hurt your children? Or do you feel that maybe you jumped the gun? No. We did it for all the right reasons. And now listen carefully to what I'm going to tell you next. What I don't understand is why I can't have the same relationship with my wife that I have with you. James.
She's a different person. Like, what are you crazy?
James, I was like, wait, what? Instead of saying ex-wife, I was saying your wife. I said, oh, so you're saying your wife. So have you spoken to her? First, he denied it. He said, no, I haven't. I said, okay, answer me honestly, because you've been doing well so far. Have you spoken to her? Yeah, we've been talking. I said, okay. So do you want to go back because of her or because of your kids?
Right.
I don't know. It's like, I don't, the relationship I have with you, you're so honest, you're so open. And I said, and you're not. I said, you can't have the same relationship with her that you have with me because she's not me.
Right.
She is not me. And the fact that you came here and talking about school and your kids and everything else, so it leads me to believe that you have been maybe talking to her all this time. Like maybe I've been the side chick and your mother's lied to me. No, 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 no. Oh, so you didn't tell your mother you plan on getting back? No, my mother never asked me to. I said, okay. So I'm going to ask you this one question. I'm going to ask you, and I want the truth. When did you stop the separation proceedings? He looked everywhere in my little small living room except at me. So you've been lying all this time. So now you need to get up and you need to get out.
Right.
And I don't know why I was so calm. So calm. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, I'm not going to blame myself for this because I did everything right. I was honest. I let him know I was in that, we could date. When things got serious, the only thing I didn't ask was like the paperwork, but he could have shown me the paperwork, but you could withdraw at any time.
Right. Right.
Right. So he wasn't honest.
Right.
And he wasn't honest about it and he lied. So then I get the call 2 weeks later. I want to see you. I'm sorry. I left things wrong. I'm like, no, it's not a good idea. Homeboy showed up unannounced. Okay, so now you're going to see ugly Linda. I made some dinner. I cooked him some dinner. He wanted to get down to the deed. No, 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 no. But you want to kiss and hug? I don't have nails, but I have these skinny little paper nails. And he had no idea the scratches that I left on the back of his neck. He has no idea the marks that I left. And when he got to his home, that man called me from his home pissed off. Literally called me. I said, that's so you know, never play with me or any woman like me again. And make sure. And I said, and you live at address such, because I had my friend look up. My friends literally passed the house where he lived with his wife and never saw his car, never saw him. That's how much I check. And this just goes to show no matter how honest and no matter how careful you are, when someone wants to fucking lie to you and take you for a fool, they could really do it. And this is before social media. This is before cell phones. This is when it was beepers and you had to go to payphones. And I said, you live at address such and such, and your wife's name is such and such, dead silence. You ever call me, send me a postcard, show up unannounced, I will be knocking on her door. And that was it. End of conversation. But till this day, I will take to my grave that bullshit thing. Why can't I have the relationship with her that I have with you? Because my motherfucking ass is honest. Evidently, you're not. And you didn't know how to be honest to her. But honesty seems to be like a cancer that people don't even respect it. Like people, I think here I'm more appreciated with like, okay, you're honest, you're going to tell it like it is. Some people find my honesty offensive. I've been in conversations where other people are being honest and I'm keeping my mouth shut just to observe. And I hear how they refer to people being honest. Oh, they're just crazy. They want too much, or they're just extra. Honesty is something that people say they want, but they really don't. Because then you have to face reality. Then you have to really realize that your expectations and what actually is going to happen are probably never going to meet. It honestly is right up there with the damn unicorns. And those of us that are honest, those of us that live that way, it's like we need to find each other because it's a freaking world of illusion and delusion.
Well,
that's my thing.
Yeah, I would say this. I think that part of the problem that he had, like the bigger overall problem, even in connection to this conversation, is the fact that he wasn't honest with you from the beginning. Because I've even said, I've said the craziest thing about people who will go out and cheat on their boyfriends, girlfriends, or whatever the case may be. The craziest part of that, a lot of times, is if they were honest about what it is they wanted. Like, I want to be able to date you and Susie and Mary, and I don't want to have any commitment, but I like the idea of having a home base to come to, and I like you to be that home base. A lot of women are going to say, go jump in the river. But
Right.
there are women out there who is like, that's exactly what I want. The women like Janelle. I want a guy who's going to come by, knock it down every other couple of days, and then I send him out of the house, and I don't want to have to worry about his ass no more.
Yep.
I
Some do
mean,
like being the side chick or the
yeah,
side
yeah.
dude.
I don't want to deal with you, and I'm okay with that. But it's just a matter of, like you said, it's just people being honest enough about their intentions, who they are, what their expectations are, and being honest with their potential partners, and then finding partners who are like-minded, as opposed to, which I completely disagree with, you making decisions for me. You don't get to make decisions for me.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that part of it. Like, if I want to involve myself in some dumb shit, then I have enough intelligence, I have enough wherewithal, and I have enough personal responsibility where if I do some dumb stuff, like, okay, well, I know this is stupid, but I'm going to do it anyway. But it should be my choice. It's not your choice to convince me or trick me into doing some stuff that normally I wouldn't do.
Right. And I'm so glad that my grandmother like raised me with that self-awareness, with the fact that you don't settle. You're not anybody's doormat. You're not a second. Like, she was before her time. Remember, I'm 64 years old. So this is back in the day when you graduate high school and you're looking for a husband. You're not looking to go. My grandmother was like, oh, hell no. You all are going to college. You're going to work. No one's getting married anytime soon.
Yeah.
Which was
Well,
very unusual for that time. And if she
technically, they
hadn't
would go to high
raised
school
me,
looking for a wife.
I'm sorry.
I said, technically, in those days, you would go to high school looking for your prospective husband or wife.
Oh, good. Listen, we were barely able to date in senior year, but yeah, my grandmother was too damn ahead of her time.
Right.
And if I hadn't been raised that strong, like some of my other contemporaries weren't, they would have taken those crumbs and been like, okay, well, I'll be here when you need me.
Right.
And I think you need to have not even just that self-awareness, that respect for who you are as a human being, that you matter.
Mm.
And that's what I try to tell some of these young ladies. Like, I hear them popping shit on the bus. I just like, come over here and sit here with me for a minute and just try to spread that. You are worth more than that, than being a plaything to some boy that don't even know how to wipe his ass yet.
Right. Well, the crazy part about that, because I have a similar speech, and the crazy thing about that is, just from what I've observed being on the other side, is that when people ask you to play down so that way you can get into the game with them,
Yeah.
when it comes time for them to choose their actual team, their actual partners, the people they actually want to be with, you are never in contention, because who the hell wants to be with the doormat?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you wind up changing yourself, trying to make this person feel comfortable, and you change yourself in a way, be like, well, why would I want to be with somebody like you? And half the time when they wind up cheating on you or the next person that they date, that person is actually closer to the person that you were when you first started dating.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I say be your damn self, be happy. And if they can deal with it, if they can't deal with it, they can't deal with you, then move on. That person ain't for you.
That's it. That's
Yeah, I
Bob.
100% agree. I 100%
That's
agree.
my story, and I'm sticking to it. But before I go, you need to talk to YouTube, because these mofos keep interrupting the live and they're driving me up the wall. Yours is the only live that gets interrupted. I don't know if it's because you got two channels or whatever is going on, but they're driving me up the wall.
Interrupted, what do you mean?
So it's a live. It's not supposed. I get interrupted with ads. That never happened before until you did the second channel.
Okay. I'll contact my contact person, see what's going on.
Yeah, there's something going on with that. And I put in the comments, evolving this into a podcast, because you need to be the anti-manosphere voice out there. Because if I see another Tate brother inspired podcast, I'm gonna start finding out where people live and cut their goddamn cables
Right.
and cords.
I'll sit there with some sunglasses and act like a douche.
No. You got to be the anti-manosphere, talking sense into these young men.
I think that's all that's required, because he came out. I remember when his hokey ass came out in the beginning. I'm like, who the hell is this corny ass dude talking about a bunch of shit he clearly has no understanding about?
Yeah.
And he was bald, he had no glasses on, and then he changed up his persona later, telling corny jokes. Oh, I believe in the PhD. That stands for player. Was it player something degree or something?
And that's so weird because when he was a champion kickboxer, whatever, he was so shy and the scrawny guy that probably didn't get any dates. And I don't understand when you grow out of that shell into the human being you could be. Why do you choose to be a dickhead?
Because that's what I was saying earlier. Because ultimately, he was a nice guy because he was forced to be a nice guy because he didn't have the wherewithal to be the person he actually was. The person that you see today, that's who he is. And that's who he always was. So when they come out and they have these, like, he has charges in various places where women
Yeah, his ass is gonna be in jail soon.
have alleged he's done things to them, things I can't say on YouTube.
I know. Yeah, you can't. Mm-hmm.
But when they come out and say those things, I look at the character that he displays in the positions that he takes now, not when he's pleading his innocence, but what he said when he thought he had carte blanche to say what it is he really thought. And from that response, I'm like, yeah, they got a case. This is not, oh, you guys don't know me. I'm different in person. This is just a facade. But no, this is who you are.
Mm. Yeah, and about the Browns. So evidently Leon did a live, an Instagram live, and someone recorded it. So I put it on our page. Something to discuss in the future.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, it's a little interesting. All right. So hello everybody, and I'm gonna give somebody else a chance. Have a
All
good
right.
night. I'll
Thank
be
you.
lurking. Bye.
Appreciate the story.
Yep.
Have a good one. All right. What's this? Megatron. Uh-oh. True story. I was crushing on a colleague and he was crushing on me as well. Okay. We tiptoed around each other a lot. Well, he has been acting hella shady lately out of the blue. So I'm like, okay. You gonna drop us off in part 1? Where's part 2? Teaser. You big tease. Let me go to, I think we have Negla. Negla in the house. What's going on, Negla? How you doing?
Hey.
Hey, what's happening?
All right. So, you know what? And I love you because you actually typed it out for me like I typed it out for you. Look, and I know my Linda, and Linda, you are my sis. And I know I was in your state, actually states, I don't know, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, they're all the same. I was there anyway. I was there and I didn't visit her, but the thing is, denial over accountability. I'm not trying to be funny, but literally, I was raised. Okay, yeah, oh yes, yeah. You're the my parents didn't do anything wrong, but the way that they raised me, like, okay, yeah, you did it right. Yes, you're pretty. You're the prettiest, and you're the most beautiful, and this, that, and the other. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then moving forward, so when I encountered the quote unquote real world, so I'm a dark skinned little African American chick on the kindergarten was the base. Overseas. And they're like, oh, well, it's the dark, it's the dark one. It's the dark one. No, I'm the pretty one. And so I was the one that was able to carry the flag. Like, so I asserted myself. There comes a point where it's like, okay, well, okay, now you're in a garden of more people and you're not sure how to handle yourself and you're not prepared, but your parents are still giving you this wonderful self-esteem as a child. And I'm just dark skinned, like literally that's, the kids that are the things that our kids have to face now is much more than skin color. It's like, this, that, and other. So I'm still denying. Okay, anyway, moving forward, fast forward to I want to say 36 years. Okay, I'm raising my children, and I'm thinking that uh, the same thing will work. No, the things that made me a spoiled brat back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, they don't work anymore. Okay, so now you need to adapt. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I need to be accountable. And like, I'm not a brat. When I say I'm a spoiled brat, I am a spoiled brat, but it's not like I'm a bad brat. Obviously, I'm a good person. Well, I think you know that. I don't know.
I agree. I agree. Well, just for folks who may not be aware of what it is you're speaking about, because that is a phenomenon which goes widely ignored, and
Yeah,
for people who are not part of the community, they may be unaware. And what Negla's specifically talking about is the application of what we refer to as colorism in African American community. Many of us, we have all shades and hues within our culture. So
but if you're
you could
dark,
be, you know,
paper bag,
right to the point where you appear to be white. You could be,
paper bag.
cold black. We have everything in the middle, and you're all considered black. But there was a time, and even to couple onto something you had said, I have personal stories. When I grew up, I didn't grow up thinking I was ugly or whatever the case may be. And
Sure.
my parents didn't like, you're Mr. Gorgeous Man. But there were issues with the fact that I distinctly remember uh, having crushes or talking to a young lady. I was tall, I was dark skinned, I'm darker complected, and
But
I
see, oh,
remember,
you was hold on, but you wasn't cool till after the 80s.
right? I
I like
remember
in the
having an
90s
actual,
you was cool, but in the
well,
80s, no, they wanted the light skin one.
right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Sorry.
I remember young women saying directly to me that I was too
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
oh,
did
you
this.
too dark. Yeah, I don't date guys that dark. Like
Mm.
that's not a thing. So it is what it is. And then kind of what you were saying, it update the situation. That's why I give so much credence to brothers like Wesley Snipes, Tay Diggs,
Absolutely.
um,
Yes.
Morris
Well,
Chestnut, because they
Morris
actually
Morris
spearhead the whole thing where uh, black men were a
Morris
little more
Chestnut.
appreciated.
When I tell you, when Morris Chestnut and when Ricky, no, and and I was laughing. I was literally laughing. I closed my eye laughing because I was like, oh, he's running and it's funny. But I didn't realize that what was happening to Ricky, right? I like two and two did not click. Cause I was like, but that's a dude. That dude, the dudes in the car was dark. Like it was kind of like the Mm. This is another thing that people may need to understand is about the dolls. Like there were dark skinned people in the vehicle, and I was just like, okay, well, I don't know. There was something mentally. And what you're saying is absolutely correct. James, absolutely. Uh, the paper, brown paper bag test and the dolls. There was also a test with the dolls. Am I
Well,
correct?
you're talking about the there's a couple things you could go with that, because one, the brown paper bag test was something that was used early on. If you were darker than a brown paper bag, that lighter than a brown paper bag, you were attractive. If you were darker, you were too dark. Uh, and that's where you get the whole concept or idea of like pretty kids, pretty hair, etc. The further you were away from your African heritage, the more attractive you were. That also fell into what later became a study where when kids were picking dolls, there was a long
Right.
time when
Right.
dolls were not available. Like when they actually started rolling out
No, we
black
didn't.
dolls under Barbie, that was a big deal that they had a black
No,
variant.
it was
Even
before.
the
It was
black
even
variant,
before.
well, hold on. Even with the black variant was basically a brown
Yep.
colored white doll. So they didn't truly
Literally,
have an
and
African.
literally, it wasn't even brown. It was caramel. It was like
Yeah,
caramel. It was like literally, it just had a little
yeah, it was
tint.
just a different color to it.
No,
But
no,
it was just a thing of
no.
the they didn't have dolls that were necessarily depicting African as attractive. The study that
Correct.
you're referring to was they took two dolls, a white doll and a black doll, and they
Yep.
put them in front of kids and they said, which doll is pretty? And they picked up the
Yeah.
white doll. Which doll is do you think is law abiding or a good person? They pick up a white.
Yes.
Which doll do you think is evil? They pick up the black doll.
Yes.
Like in that kind of thing. And that was an entire
Yes.
study. So you can disagree with me and my
And
opinion,
that's
but you can't
avoiding
disagree with
reality. And it's like, which is beauty? Like, what do you perceive as beauty? Like, without the clouds of my eyes, like you come out the womb, what's beauty? Beauty is my mommy. Okay, that's me, period. You know, that's the first eyes I look into. And my mommy might, if I'm adopted, my mommy might not look like the person who gave birth to me or whatever. Or my mommy might not be the community that I grow up in. However, I know when I look in the mirror, that's beauty. Does that make sense? Look, look, my eye might look this way or that way, and my nose might be crooked, bent, shape, or straight. It doesn't matter. My skin might be light, dark, or white, black, whatever. That's beauty. That's why when Iman became the first, I'm sorry. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Well, I
You
mean,
know
I
what?
think that
I
what you're
can't.
referring to specifically is just people having self-esteem. Like you should regardless of how you look. One, I think it's a lot goes into the idea or concept of regardless of how you appear to be for other people's how you appear to be to other
Well,
people and how
yeah.
they judge you is all irrelevant because at the end of the day, it's how you judge yourself. You may not feel like, as a for instance, even in
Have
my situation, if I stand in one group, I'm not attractive because especially where I grew up, there was a little more the higher up you went, especially in certain social strata, the more particular people became about the colorism issue. But if you're standing in one group, you're too
sir.
dark, you're unattractive. You stand in another group, they can't get enough of you. You know what I mean? For that same reason that everybody finds
Right,
you
right, right,
attractive,
right.
these people will tear you to pieces. Like for instance, I had friends who went over to especially in the 90s and the late 80s, 90s, and 2000s. They went over to Germany, Japan, and a lot of these
No,
countries
and then,
where,
but
well, hold on, let me finish. We disagree.
yes.
They went over to these other countries,
No, you're
and
right.
because
No, you're right.
they're
I know what
so
you're about to say.
because the countries are so homogeneous that they're used to seeing one type of person that
Yes.
when the black
Yes.
guys touch down,
Yep.
all of a sudden they like the guys who were told that they were too dark, too ugly here in America, they get over there and they had the most beautiful women they've ever seen
Nope.
in their lives running up trying to touch their
Yep.
skin because they were fascinated by
Yep.
just how different they were. And and again, that goes back to the
And you know
whole
what?
thing of you understanding your value. And when you see your value and people don't find you value, it may not be that your value is diminished or small. It just may be that you're standing in the wrong group of people who don't know how to
That
assess
part.
your value. And I think that that's the bigger
And
part. And again, that goes to self-esteem,
and
knowing
that
who
and
you
that's
are
what
and
you
being
were
honest
saying.
with yourself.
And that's what you were saying. And literally that part. And that's why I was just mentioning my uncles. Like literally, I grew up like I'm dark skinned. Okay. People don't, in Ohio, well, no, where I grew up in Ohio. That's all I was saying. In Ohio, where I grew up, I got teased. I had a woman or a girl. She had a anyway. Long story short, it's not where you came from, it's where you are going. And people do deny um the way that they treat you based on race or color or accountability or anything like that. So my first name is Negla, correct? Negla, Negla 3, right? So if I use my middle name, which is a very white sounding name, let's say my middle name is Amber, which is not, okay? So if I were to put that on my resume, you would, there were times when I would be hired as Amber as opposed to Negla. No lies. Quicker.
Right. Well, I mean,
And that's just it. And but you know what? But the thing is, Amber is not my name, and my middle name is a very white sounding name. It doesn't matter. But it it does. It does. Uh, yeah, it does. I can't have a relationship with you or not you, but anyone, if I don't, if I'm not honest. And that's why I, again, support this channel. And oh gosh, dag nabbit, I gotta drop another membership. Okay. Yeah, no, not, I don't have to. Okay, just so y'all know, James does not pay me. I do this on my own. This is an independent Negla. This is the, hold on, what's the, okay, right now, let me see. How do I do it? Anyway, it's independent or whatever. But either way, James, I'm just dropping a membership. Or would you prefer
well, it's up to you. I
super
won't
chat?
influence your choices because you're independent.
You know
You're
what?
independent woman.
See, we're not gonna do this. See, this one I don't like.
Yeah, that's what my
I
wife
love
said.
you, but I
Hey,
can't say
your
this.
damn your mouth.
Like, you know what? Okay, either way, cut me off. No, please cut me off because I have been drinking. And I did not intend to do this. The only thing I intended to do was make a live because I know I have not been. Literally, I've lost 4 uncles in the past as many months. Like literally since December, I've lost, and I'm like, I don't make this funny, but and I have been drinking, and so, but I was trying to make the live, and I was trying to make a point about and I still have it, why people choose denial over accountability. And I know that asshole, or I'm sorry, Laura Fauntleroy, denial over accountability. Anyway, trying to move forward.
Well,
All
I would just say
let me go.
I'll say this in closing. I think that ultimately, as you suffer loss, because there's been a few people in our group who have lost people in quick succession in 2026. 2026 for a lot of people not only has been a financial disaster, but it's upheaved a lot of their foundational
2026
family
needs to go to hell.
Yeah, it's just and for you to lose like four uncles,
Gasoline draws.
just understanding how, especially depending on
No,
the family.
Since December, my uncle PT was in November, and then February was Uncle. Anyway, sorry.
Well, losing.
I
Well, either
apologize.
way,
It's on the Facebook page.
Yes, I saw it. I did see it. They're good looking dudes, like the outfits. But
And they better be. Yes,
yeah, they
yes,
chop.
sir.
They don't
Thank
chop.
you.
But when it comes down to it, losing elders within a family, what they say every time an
Yeah,
older person dies is like a library burning to the ground. Like there's a lot of
that part.
foundational history and a lot of
Mm.
experiences gone, and a lot of the
Well,
family fabric seems like it's frayed when you start losing people, especially if you're losing them in quick succession to one another.
and then
It
my
can be
father
devastating.
is like in the middle of them, and that's where I'm also, kind of. But that's a mental health. You know what I mean? That's a personal. That's something I really am. I do have a mental health professional that is working with me, but still, she's still, not her, but me.
No, no, I hear you. I
Fine.
hear you. But as long as you're getting the help that you need and you're moving forward, I mean that's all that's important. That's all that can be expected. And more importantly, like even from my perspective, that's something that my mother has shared with me and I've shared with my kids. Something happens to me, you do not have my permission to stop. Do not, if I drop dead tomorrow, you do not have, if you sit there and start feeling sorry for yourself and use me as an excuse as to why you're not trying to fulfill your best life, I will be pissed. When I see you in heaven, I'm kicking you square in the ass. I'm
You
kicking
hear
you square
that,
in the ass. Do not
James?
use me as an excuse. You know what I mean? Because
That
that's not what I want for you, and that's not when people made sacrifices and they were making choices and they were spending time with you. That's not why they were doing it.
yeah.
So that when they died, you died too. You know what I mean?
And
So
you know what? And James, I promise you are not Caribbean, so you didn't say it quite like they would have. But I promise you, I needed to hear that. Thank you.
no worries, no worries. But thank you so much
All
for
right.
calling in, Negla. Thank you
All
for the
right, I'm
money.
gonna let you go. Take
All
care.
right,
All right.
have a good
Bye,
one.
brother.
All
And
right,
bye, family. I love you. And I'm gonna drop another membership. All right.
all right. Thank you, Negla. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
All right, sis. Uh, yeah, we're having a good time. Yeah, I think that like when some things that Negla pointed out, I think that you recognizing where you are, and a lot of times, like I said, being honest with yourself don't mean you just got to be cruel with yourself. I'm short. I'm fat. My nose is crooked. That you can recognize those things about yourself, and then love yourself. And when I say love yourself, I'm not talking about you loving with the fake ass idealized version of who you purport yourself to be, but I'm saying love yourself with the full acceptance of not only your virtues but your flaws. That's what love is. Like you don't love somebody despite this or ignoring that. You love them understanding that this is who they are. This is what it is. You understand what I mean? So being honest with yourself gives you that ability to be able to move past a lot of the hindrances that will hold you back. But we're going to move on to Megatron. Megatron, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, James? I ain't think I was gonna get in tonight.
No, I get
Quiet.
out some room for you. Clear the
Okay,
table.
okay. No, so I'm really loving this the how you got the setup because why people choose denial over accountability is beyond me. Like I was typing the little story from yesterday in the chat. Like so I had a little guy I was crushing on at work. Found out he was crushing on me too. Oh, we were just tiptoeing around each other, whatever. All of a sudden, out of the blue, dude just cold shouldered me, stopped speaking, stopped talking. So I'm an adult. I'm like, hey, like, let's chop it up real quick. Like, did I offend you? Like, is something up? Like, oh, I'm at work. I just want to keep it professional at work. And I was like, oh, okay, say less.
Right.
I didn't need no further explanation. So then I matched the energy. Cold shoulder, not speaking. That's fine. Like that's how you want it. That's how you got it, right?
Right.
So fast forwarded to yesterday, I had everybody's clearing out their classrooms, everybody, getting ready for the summer. So I was like, you know what? I still got a stash of candy in here and I don't want to bring it home because my kids will sit here and eat it. I'm gonna just start passing it out. So during my planning period, I'm just going around like, hey, you know, would you like some candy? Would you like some candy? So I bypass him. He's standing there with other people, right? I legit bypass him. Like, hey, y'all want some candy? All of them grab candy, and I walk the fuck off, right? Unbeknownst to me, bro, start crying. Well, I was standing here. She didn't ask me if I wanted any candy. Blah, blah, blah. Like, he just started going off. So one of the other security guys came to me. He was like, yo, can you ask him if he wants some candy? I was like, nah. I was told by him he didn't want any contact with me while we was at work.
Right.
This is from his mouth. So I don't speak to him. Don't say anything to him. He's no longer existing in my world. He was like, well, you know, he's upset and he's going to the office. And I said, he can go to wherever the hell he want to go. He can go to the White House. They ain't but a couple miles up the road. Fuck Trump, glad this my candy. I bought this candy.
Right.
Right. So the principal called me in today. She was like, oh, we have to talk because we got to complain that you're creating a hostile work environment. And he's sitting there and I just bust out laughing. Like, it was one of those laughs that I literally laughed for 10 minutes solid. Tears rolling. And she's giggling. The assistant principals started giggling. And I'm like, how am I creating a hostile work environment? She was like, well, the complaint is, you know, you offered everyone candy but him. I said, speaking of candy, would y'all like some as well? Because I don't want to take none of this candy home. They both look at each other and it's like, well, I'll take the Hershey's. I'll take the Kit Kats. I was like, okay, yeah. But back to what we were saying. This person specifically told me he did not want to have contact with me in this building. All I'm doing is respecting his wishes and his boundaries. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do here.
Right.
And she looks at him. She was like, did you tell her that? He was like, well, yeah. And she looks at him like, well, what the fuck are we doing here?
Right. That's what I was
She ain't talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, yeah, but I mean, I wasn't meaning it that way. And it's like, nah, bro, stand on what you said. You said you did not want me to have any interaction with you in this building. And I'm giving you no interaction in this building. So he just wouldn't hold himself accountable for what he's like. You said this. I'm respecting your boundaries and I'm respecting your rules, and you still mad. The hell am I supposed to do with it?
Well, 2 points.
And he just threw a whole tantrum. He threw a whole tantrum in the office today.
Yeah, 2 points.
He ended up having to go home today.
First point. One, when you say you want something, because this is how I approach things. If I say that I want something or I make a demand, I've thought about it to the point where I look at the pros and the cons and the possible outcomes. If I say I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to flirt with you, I'm not trying to shit where I eat because this is where I get my paycheck and I ain't trying to have no foolishness because we get involved, things don't work out, it's going to be awkward at work. I'm not trying to mess that up. Cool. But I understand that if I say that to you, that you're going to do what, especially if you're respectful, you're going to do what I ask you to do, which is I don't talk to me. My full expectation is you don't talk to me. Here's my other point, part 2. What the entire fuck would have happened if he would have made that request and you would have ignored it? Then they would have you on sexual harassment because
that part
told you I don't want to have this kind of contact with you. You heard it, ignored it, and did whatever it is you offered them candies and you know, let's go cut it up in the coat room. And this dude is like, look, you know, this is ridiculous. It's a hostile work environment. Blah, blah, blah. Then, okay, fine. If I did that shit, I fully expect to sit there and talk to HR. But if I don't give this candy like it's trick-or-treat Halloween shit, I don't expect as a grown-ass man, he get a paycheck, he can go down to the Piggly Wiggly, the 7-Eleven, or whatever, and scoop some ice or some candy. He don't have to get his candy from me. What are we talking about, y'all? You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
Like,
yeah.
No, James, that's how I was. And I was like, you know what? And the principal was that she was lost. She was like, I don't know. Like he said he didn't want you to interact with him, and you didn't interact with him, and now he's mad. She was like, she was like, look, we got 11 days of school left. Are you good? I said, oh, I'm super good. I'm
Right.
bringing ice cream sundaes for everybody tomorrow. So
So
don't bring no dessert, you know.
we might
And
be
she's
back in
like,
the
well,
office if you don't get an ice cream sandwich.
yeah, and he ain't getting he won't wrap his little thin ass lips around nothing I bring up in there. No, we're keeping it professional and zero interaction. That's how you wanted it to see. You better be careful what you ask for. And you know,
Right.
that's one of the things I had to learn. Be careful what you ask for and be specific when you ask for whatever it is you want. Because one thing's for certain, I match energies and I'm the queen of it. So, and what really pissed him off was the because he does security for our school. The other security guards was like, "Yeah, man, you fumbled that one, bro. You fumbled that one. I don't know what's wrong with you. So that really was pissing him off. I don't got nothing to do with that. You checked them. I didn't say that to you. They said it to you.
Right. Well,
You
here's
know.
the thing.
So, but
The Lord works in mysterious ways, right? And I would say this. His friends told him that he fumbled it. I would say,
mhm,
Megatron, you clean ducked the bullet on this one. Because if this dude
okay,
is going this crazy over some fucking candy,
Candy.
if you would
I
have
would have
gave
to
him
kill
the
him.
good, my man would
I
be
had to
going
kill him,
crazy.
James. I
He'd be
had to
there, he'd
kill
be
him
in the bushes at your house right now. He'd be outside in the trees. You know what I'm saying? Like he going this crazy over some candy.
over
Oh no.
Candy.
Oh,
Like what?
if you would have hooked him up, he would have been done. You would have been smoking the
Lord,
city jack. You'd have been living over
you
there
know
at
what I'm
Cape Fear.
saying?
You know what I'm saying? It'd be Cape Fear. Hello, counselor. He'd be outside butt naked with a damn cross tattoo on his back, talking about send him on out. Like, no, I'm telling you, you ducked that bullet.
But do you see how divine intervention works? It's
Right.
like
Won't he
because
do it?
I know my worth and I'm very self aware of myself. So when you bring that to me, oh, I don't want you to. Oh, okay, cool. I
Right.
ain't sit here and pick myself apart like, oh, well, maybe he don't like me because maybe. Oh, hell no, motherfucker. You liked it a month ago, so I know damn well you like it now. But
Yeah.
I really, really like. I had to learn when people tell you something the first time, that's exactly what they mean.
Right.
You're not gonna get a third and fourth and fifth time to tell me you don't want to be bothered with me. That's something I had to learn the hard way. You know, well, what did I do? Why am I? Oh, okay. No, no, no. Now, maybe you could have caught me maybe 15 years ago. I would have come. Well, what did I do? What did I do? Now, baby. Oh, okay. You don't want to talk to me? That's cool. You no longer exist to me.
Yeah.
And people can't handle that. So I'm self-aware and my self-esteem is high enough to where, okay, you don't have to, I know everybody don't like me. That is okay. Guess what? I'm still gonna sleep at night. I'm still gonna listen to James on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays. And I'm gonna still cash my paycheck every Friday.
Well, I appreciate
So,
the support. 1, 2. Let's
you
keep it
know,
all the way a buck. Some of these dudes, like side note, some of these cats will say that kind of shit because they setting you up. Because the whole thing was he was supposed to be trying to knock you back on your heels. They do this same trick
hmm
at some jobs. Like you be in there killing the job, doing a good job, and you always got a boss on your neck telling you that you ain't doing this and you ain't doing that, and you ought to be scared, and they trying to put you in fear that you're about to lose your job. In a romantic situation, they tell you about all the shit that, oh, I don't really want you. And so you got to do XYZ, that Cody Mary shit where you got a
Cody
whole list
Brown
of stuff.
shit.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to work on so that you can be with me and I'll deem you fit to spend time with you and all that kind of
Hmm.
shit. And when you don't work because you have self-esteem and you say, okay, you know what? You don't like it, you ain't with it, I'm out. Then all of a sudden it's like, where you going? What you mean I'm going? You said you ain't want it.
Right. So essentially, that's the vibe I got. I was like,
Right.
oh, he's in his feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm going on a date with the coworker Friday. We're going to see the new scary movie. So,
Okay.
um,
Check in.
yeah.
Checkmate.
And look, why he was James? See, I'm telling y'all, I'm the queen of petty. He was standing right there. I said, "So what you doing this weekend?" He was like, "I ain't doing nothing." I was like, "Oh, so I'm going to see the scare movie. You trying to roll?" He was like, "Damn, that do come out. Shit, when you trying to go?" Hey, I could do Friday or Saturday or Sunday. It's up to you. You pick,
Mhm.
boss man. Pick me up at 8. I'll be ready.
There you go.
Right there in front of him. That man here look like a tomato. What can you do though? What can you do? I'm matching your energy, sweetheart.
Right, right.
Don't ask me for nothing because I'm gonna give it to you, and a little bit more than what you asked for.
Well, that's what you said you wanted. I'm
But
just giving you what you want.
that's what you. I'm just giving you what you want. Now you can't say nothing to me, even if we ain't even in the building.
Right.
You can't even speak to me at Target.
I'm
Like,
telling
no,
you, gonna be
sir.
acting crazy.
Yeah, like, man, I was so happy. I said, you know what? The divine intervention showed me because this one here, I would have to put pause on him. As the kids say, I would put pause on him. And I do not agree with domestic violence, but if I have to, we shall go there.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, it's
I
also
love
crazy
this.
to me too that he gonna come at you like it's one thing for you to maybe catch your feelings, but again, this is like, sidestepping a bad situation. Because it's one thing for you to be in your feelings and maybe you sensitive. Do sound like he's soft as wet toilet tissue. But when it
Uh-huh.
comes down to it, you don't go to my job and try to jeopardize my life, my lifestyle, and me being able to take care of my family because you and your fucking feelings because I ain't give you a candy bar.
Right.
Because that's what you're here
he
for.
he
Like, you
wanted
know what I
that
mean?
Hershey bad again.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what
Damn. All
so
that
when
over a Hershey bar?
yeah, so when folks gonna get, people might start getting tight because she said she might lay paws on them. That's the part that, like, nobody talking about laying paws on people because they got rejected or because the dude was upset about. No, because you're talking about affecting my life and my family. This goes beyond just you being mad because
That's
I
my
didn't
whole
do.
career.
Yeah,
My entire career.
like my reputation is dog shit because you don't know what you want in your life. Again, be honest with what yourself allows you to be honest with other people. You figure out what you want in your life, and then you come back to me. But don't come back to me on no
Real life examples of denial ruining lives. And you got that on this
right.
damn slide. That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm telling you, James, these people crazy. You
Yeah,
own something tonight, my brother. You are on fire tonight. I'm telling you.
I appreciate that. But that's
James in the NBA finals. James in the NBA finals. Damn the Knicks and the Spurs. It's damn my take. James from my take.
I appreciate that. I wish I
This
wish
is
I would
crazy,
get paid
but
money.
I'm telling you, and don't take no candy bars to work
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
job.
Don't take candy from strangers. Didn't you learn that as a kid? Like,
Yeah. Stranger danger. Yeah. Some of this man I got called into the principal's office, y'all. First of all, I was in a good mood anyway. But I just laughed so hard. Like I laughed to the point where they could not even stop themselves from laughing. Like this is preposterous. This is preposterous. I'm in here because I didn't give somebody a candy bar.
right, right. Well, because you
Somebody
know what?
that asked me to avoid them.
This is like this is where because I've been saying for a while now I'm in the wrong timeline. Like somewhere down the line I got switched with somebody. I don't know if this is us thing like that movie there. Like I'm in the wrong damn timeline because the ridiculousness of like I would be sitting in the office like are we really going to talk about that? What are we doing? What is happening now? Like because I'm grown and what?
Like she was just like I don't I'm gonna have to call I'm gonna have to call it over to the board because I mean at this point I have no clue what to do. She was so and she's a really sweet lady. She said I don't know what to tell you, sweetie. She's like, but he's very irate and he's very upset. I said, well, then he need to go home.
Right.
Because I promise you, he ain't gonna touch me. He ain't gonna touch me anywhere in this building or out of this building. I promise you, he not. Because if he do, y'all might as well go and call Baltimore coroner's office because that's who's gonna be picking him up.
Yeah, right. But don't bring plenty of tape and a lot of chalk
You understand what I'm saying?
Crime scene. But it's just like you're calling me in the office. Anytime you get called in the office like that kind of thing for disciplinary issues, you're telling me that I'm about to get out. There's a possibility, no matter how remote, but there's a possibility I might lose my job because I didn't give him a $2 candy bar.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what all the shit we got going on, like, because I don't know what's going on in your school, fairness, but all the shit that potentially could be going on in that building. This is what we're spending time on.
This is what you have to spend time on.
Moving to the next grades, and we're sitting here talking about a grown ass man and some candy bars and how his feelings hurt. Is this what we're doing?
James, this is what we're doing. I said the 90s would never. The 90s would never.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? The 90s, this wouldn't even be possible. Our principal, Mr. McNair, I could see Mr. McNair sitting across that. I literally envisioned it. That's why I was laughing so hard. Like, dude really called me in the principal's office over a candy bar, bro. Like, what would Mr. McNair have done? He'd have cussed him out so bad.
Yeah.
The 90s, this wouldn't have flew in the 90s.
Because my mom worked in our school district when I was a kid. Well, not my school. She worked in a public school district. And with the people that she worked with, if you would have went into that office as that man and complained about that stuff, isn't that what, like, my mom, she's like you, she would have brought stuff for the people, and she used to go to get to the warehouse stuff, get a whole bunch of stuff, take stuff in for the kids and the other coworkers and stuff. And if somebody would have complained, the first thing that principal, because I knew the principal too, the people that she worked with, they would have said, "Are you okay?" Like, they didn't know when we got back to my mom. Like, we need to have a conversation because I got to figure out where you. This shit is nuts. Like, are you okay? Do you need some time off? Like, because what are we doing?
They gave him the rest of the day off.
Yeah,
they gave him the rest of the day off.
Yeah, you need to figure it out. And I'm giving you the day off not so you can go home and put yourself together, but you might have to find something else to do. Because we got to make some choices around here too. Because I don't know if it's safe for the kids to be around your ass at this point. You know what I mean? Because you seem kind of unstable. Like, because apparently you got way more shit. There's some candy bars going on. What's happening?
Oh man, some candy bars, James. I can't make it. This, you cannot make this stuff up. Yeah. You cannot. Never in my wildest dreams. Oh man, I just been giggling all day listening about it.
I'll tell you what, if it was a movie, you wouldn't believe it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, now who wrote this?
Yeah, who the hell?
Bro crashed out like the kid.
No candy bar. Like, what? Yeah, apparently.
Some of the students, they talking about, yo, bro crashing out over a candy bar. And they don't make it. Of course, I got my little Velcro kids because they was like, hold on, what's going on? What's the problem? I'm like, y'all, I'm fine. I'm okay. They was like, nah, where he at? Because we need to talk. We just want to talk. I was like, no, we're good. I'm grown. I can handle my own. Like, we're okay. But yeah, that was wild. That was wild.
Well, because I told you, like, look, my mom could cook, my grandmother could cook, and I could see, like, if she brought it, like, my mom took in a dish or something, my grandmother, oh my God, baker. If she made some cakes and stuff and you ain't get a slice, I could see people being kind of in their feelings about, like, oh, you brought that in, and, Fat Charlie down there got 2 big old humps, and I didn't get a taste. I could see that. But, like, bruh, candy bar.
Candy bar. But I think for me, though, it was the fact that you explicitly told me to not bother you at work, not interact with you, not speak to you, or this is what you said.
Right.
And listen, again, you don't have to tell me but one time not to bother you. And I promise you, I will not bother you. As long as you breathe, I will never bother you again. He just glossed all over that. Like, well, it's unprofessional for her to give everyone candy but me. I said it would be unprofessional if I was allowed to approach you. You explicitly told me not to approach you, not to say anything to you. You did not want to have any interaction with me. Did you? Or matter of fact, I pulled up the text messages, pulled up the messages, and showed the message. This is what he said.
Right.
She was like, "Wait, so okay, you don't want her to speak to you, talk." She read the message back to him, and she's doing that, and you're upset. She was like, "I don't know what to do with this." He's like, "Well, I mean, yeah, but I won't talking about like this." No. You said no interactions. So I don't interact with you. I don't speak to you. If I'm coming down the hallway and you're coming from the opposite end, I'll either duck off to the side, go another direction, or I'll turn all the way around and go the other way.
Right.
So I don't want to interact with you.
No,
Nothing. Crickets. He couldn't say anything. Crickets.
Right. Well, my question is too.
So
how did, like, when you put this together, bruh, in your mind, like when you were saying to yourself, "I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna get that lady. I'm gonna complain. I'm gonna get her ass." When you put this together, did you not think that was gonna come up? Did you just think you was gonna go? And this is the crazy part where you deal with people. You thought in your mind that you was just gonna go down there and say whatever it is you want to say, and the other person was just you, in this case, we're just gonna sit there and take it on the chin.
right.
You know what I mean? And not say nothing bad about it. That shit is crazy.
Right.
That is crazy.
Yeah, James. I'm telling you, can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. Can't make it up.
Yeah, especially
I'm gonna have this video playing tomorrow.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna have this video playing tomorrow. I'm gonna show this to my AP. That's the assistant principal. I'm like, look, see, this is my support group. We meet on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and this is what the topic was tonight. I'm gonna show her this topic. You see how, you know what I'm saying? You see how people like him can't get to me. People like him can't bother me. They can't. They can't get on my wave or my vibe. They cannot put me in a bad mood because I don't allow people like that to. Right. I laugh at them and I continue to go on about my business.
Keep that shit pushing.
That's it, and that's all. That's what he need to do. He need to find himself.
Yeah, well, 100%. Because at the end of the day, let's keep it all the way above. He pull you into that misery. The only thing that happened is you feeling bad, you feeling mad, you feeling dejected. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's going to move you forward in any positive way. You know what I mean? That interaction is not going to help you in your life and your determination, and you help you raise your kids and take care of your family. The only thing is going to be distracted. You know what I mean? So you can keep that part of it. I'm going to go ahead and just move on and live my life. You know what I mean? You live your life. I would do it. And we're
best life for devil.
Because that shit is crazy.
Like that's
it. and I even say,
I'm telling you, James.
You know, even aside from the fact, I mean, I don't understand how you send somebody text messages, and I know you got text messages, and I go in and tell a story. It would make more sense if this is a phone conversation or an actual conversation we had in person where I could deny that I ever said the shit. But it makes no sense for me to know that you have evidence of what I said and I go and say the shit. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But even if he never said anything about leave me alone, you can give to people what you choose to give to people. I don't have to, if I bake some cookies at home and you go into your workplace and you share those cookies with your friends at your job, everybody at the job, this is not kindergarten. You got enough for everybody. That's kindergarten shit. I'm a grown ass man. I share with who I want to share with. You know what I mean? I'm not under no requirement or obligation to make sure everybody is happy. That's not my job. If you look at my job description, nowhere on my job description do it say make the employees happy and treat everybody fairly. I got to treat you with respect. I got to treat you professionally, but I don't have to, you know, if I go out, like you guys are going to the movie on Saturday or Friday, Saturday this weekend to see Scream, you don't have to take everybody. You don't have to go in there and do a blanket invitation because you're going out with one person.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that would be the equivalent. Like I'm going out with Joe, so I got to come in and ask everybody they want to go because I don't want nobody to feel left out. Bump that shit. We grown people.
That part.
You know,
Yeah.
I spend time with who I want to spend time with. I give to who I want to have, and let that be that. If you're not in that group, you know, I feel bad for you, but it is what it
But, you
is.
know, it is what it is because you asked to be excluded from the group.
Right.
I didn't kick you out
Especially
the
you
group.
ask. Yeah, I'm trying to put you in the group. You reject me, and now you mad because you can't participate. Sorry, not
Yeah, you can't sit with us.
yeah.
That that was you. I'm respecting your boundaries, bro. What else? I
Right.
don't know what else to do.
Yeah, you just gonna have
If
to
I would
eat
have
that.
offered him the candy, this would have been a whole nother conversation. It would have been harassment at that point.
Right, right. You would have been, I'm telling you. And in
So
that case, they actually would have had a case.
that
In that
part.
case,
And
they
that's what
actually
I
would have
told
had.
her. If I would have offered it to him, he would have just said I was harassing him, and then I definitely would have been fired then.
Mm-hmm.
So I again, y'all got cameras all up and through this building. Look at the interaction between he and I in the last 2 weeks. If I'm walking down the hall and he's coming from the other end, you'll see me dip to the left or the right, or I turn all the way around and go around the other way.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that can be backed up with video evidence. I do not interact with him at all. So that's why I didn't offer him candy. And I'm not going to.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was like, well, I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, clearly he stated he did not want to interact. And now he's also stating that you're not interacting with him and he's angry about it. So I don't know. She was like, I don't know what to do with this. I might have to get back with you. I got to call my higher ups because I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, he might not be suited for, like, because especially the job that he has, like, he might not be suited. You know, as they say,
Yeah, I don't
no
know.
disrespect, but you might not be equipped to deal with because if you're crying over candy bars and shit, or how you being treated, these kids, I don't know how your school is, but I know kids can be cruel. And these kids will
Yes,
go
they
at you with
can.
knives, fangs, and daggers. And if you can't handle somebody not giving you a piece of candy, these kids will have you on a bridge. You understand what I mean? They will have you on a bridge. You know,
I'm
talking about
telling
you
you.
about to get your feet wet because these kids are cruel, bro.
Right. And my Velcro kids, they're like, so now you know is that snitch ass motherfucker. Da, da, da. I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all stop. They're like, nah, because he crying over candy. He crying over candy. How about so the kids are like, we're gonna bring a bunch of candies tomorrow.
Oh,
I'm like, see, y'all so petty.
leaving in his locker and shit.
I'm like, y'all just leave him alone. Like at this point, everybody just avoid him, leave him alone, don't say nothing. And you know, my Velcro kids don't give a damn because most of them graduating next week anyway. They're like, yeah, I don't have to be here but another week. I'm like, yeah, but we got to come back next year. So try
Yeah.
not to do too much. And they're like, okay, if he say anything to you, you come get me. And I'm like, I don't have to come get you.
I'll be fine.
But
I've been dealing with these
I'm
I'll
sure they're
do it.
gonna probably transfer him out though. I
Yeah.
really truly believe they're gonna transfer him out. He might need to go to elementary school.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's
High
not
school ain't it.
the crazy part is it's not the kids that he's having an issue with, it's the adults. Because
True.
you know, like they sent him to the elementary school and they got the little cutesy girls just graduating and the interns coming in from schools. And if he can't handle and that's the weird part too, you can't handle somebody being straight up with you, then there's no way you're gonna be able to deal with somebody who playing games. You
True.
understand what I mean?
True.
Like you were straight up about the
True.
situation. He said he didn't want something. You said, okay, cool. I'm gonna do the adult thing. I'm just not gonna bump with you. There are people who will just keep playing the game and going back and forth, and they keep flirting and trying to pursue and all that other stuff, and he'll be in a mess. And that's what I'm saying. Like they might have to evaluate it. Like, you know, I'm not trying to be a dick and get nobody fired. I'm just saying they might have to evaluate that because that's what I would be concerned.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I probably have an update by Thursday because she said she had to go to her higher ups because she don't know what to do with it. She got the evidence because I forwarded her the text message where bro said he don't want to be bothered, don't interact with me, da 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 da. And then the complaint is she's not interacting with me.
Right.
So she was like, I don't know. She was like, I don't know what to do with this. She was like, I'm gonna have to call my higher ups and I'll get back with you. So when I get an update, I'll let y'all know how it all panned out. But I'm curious as to know if he gonna be back tomorrow because I know she sent him home today.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. I'm wishing
And
the
it's
best.
funny, she sent him home while she was eating the candy bar.
Ah. Like,
He was sitting there eating the candy bar and was telling him like, yeah, you just can take the rest of the day. I was
these
like, can
candy
I get the
bars
rest of the day
definition.
too? She was like, nah, you can go on back to class.
Yeah, right.
Damn.
Well, how come he get a day off and I
Right, damn. Look, this is emotional distress. I need a day
right.
over a candy bar.
I tell you what, if I was him, I'd be a little nervous because if they talking about they're gonna take it, she don't know how to deal with it, and they need to take it to a higher level. They need to accelerate it. That's not a good thing.
Yeah.
For them. That's bad news. So I mean,
Yeah,
just
definitely.
like I said, that's my superpower, seeing which way the water's going, and that shit would make me nervous. Like, where they
Right.
going? They talking to who about what? Oh no, ain't nothing good gonna come of it for me. Like this ain't gonna go good for me.
Right. It reminds me of James when the drug user goes to the drug dealer, get some drugs and it's fake drugs, and they call the cops.
Mm.
That's what that reminds me of.
And you tell on yourself, like, well, we didn't got him.
Tell on yourself.
You just admitted to several felonies, though. What am I supposed
Right.
to do with that? You got to take the ride, bro.
Right. Like
you saying.
Well, he took $50 from me. Well, what was the $50 for?
Right. Because he sold me this bag of flour. Well, what did you think the flour was? You bought $50 worth of flour. No. I'm not crazy. Well, you must be high because you just earned a ride, brother.
Right. Everybody, come on. Like, that's wild though. But yeah, James, we really cannot make this up though. I just had to call and let y'all giggle with me tonight because this fool here is he got a couple of cans missing from his 6-pack.
Yeah. I don't know whether he drank them or what, but I tell you what, it's a good thing that timing is everything. It's a good thing that's happened at the end of the year as opposed to the beginning of the year, so that way you ain't got to try to navigate it. I will say,
definitely,
if he's in that fragile estate, you know what I mean? You might want to sidestep his ass now for a different reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit don't sound like it. He don't sound like he wrapped together too tight. Because that shit is nuts. Because even maybe I'm petty. Maybe it's a petty thing. But if I we had a straight up conversation and I said I wasn't interested or I didn't want to be bothered, because it would take more for me. It's one thing for me because there's distinctions. If I don't want to mess up my workplace, and I've had that conversation, workplaces, you see somebody be like, you know what, I'm digging on you, but I can't move forward because I don't want to mess this job up. Like I need to stay focused on my stuff. I get that, but I don't cut them off. Like I'm not, don't never talk to me again. That's a different thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a different thing. We could be cool, but just let you know this ain't going nowhere.
This is right.
But this dude, like, don't never talk to me again. And even if somebody did that to me and kind of what like he said to you, if they offered me candy, I would be like, no, thank you. Do you understand what I mean? Like, nah, I'm good. I could be starving. No, I'm good. I don't need no candy. I don't want no candy.
Yeah.
From you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that part of it. Like, that candy is not worth my dignity. No, I'm not. Nope. You're not gonna call me.
Right. And I feel the same way. Like, I'm not about to, and for lack of a better, I'm not about to lick your ass and offer you none of my candy. You don't want to be bothered, so you don't want none of my candy. Like, I'm taking it from, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have my pride.
Yeah, I'm not chasing you around. I'm not chasing you around.
That part, you don't get to tell me but one time that you don't want to be bothered with me. And I don't care whether that's romantic, whether that's family, whether that's friends. I don't care who and what you are. If you come out of your mouth and say, don't ever call me again, I don't give a damn if the world was on fire and I had one person to call, and the only number I knew was yours, I wouldn't call it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call it because you specifically said never to call you again. Okay, call me the damn genie in the bottle because you got your wish. I will
Right.
never call you again. Well, then why you ain't call me? Oh, I'm sorry. I was told never to call you again, so I don't.
Right. Right.
You know, but yeah.
Nah, yeah.
So I look at it like that though, James. Like I have so much pride that you only get one time to tell me not to bother you. You don't get a second time. You don't get a second, third, or fourth. This ain't baseball. No, ma'am. You tell me once, that's like you ain't got to tell me but one time. That's it.
Right. Right.
And I will never darken your doorway again.
Right. Right.
Me nor my candy.
Right. 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 Keep my candy
Me
to
nor my
myself.
candy.
And why would
Right.
you want my stuff anyway? Like if you say you don't want me around, you don't want to deal with me, why would you want anything from me? You know what I
True.
mean? Like
True.
it's just
Yeah.
complicated
I
shit.
feel like what happened was he got clowned by the other security guys was clowning him. And I think, oh, she embarrassed me, you know. But if they're the ones clowning you, do a refer on them.
Right.
Shit, I didn't clown you. I didn't say anything to you. I didn't make you feel inferior. All I did was, hey, y'all want some candy? Everybody got candy? All right. And I kept it pushing, kept it moving. Didn't even say anything to you. Per your wishes.
Right.
So if they were making fun of you, then they should be sitting in here, not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that also begs the differ. What conversation is happening in that security office about me, pertaining to me, that I don't know about? Because it sounds like to me some conversations were had that I don't know about, and you're reacting to those conversations that I don't know about.
Right. Right. Well, because
So that's kind of what it sounds like to me.
it's definitely more than just a candy bar. Like you aren't arguing over a candy bar. The candy bar is the I guess the catalyst or the subject matter. It's the safety part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Where you feel safe talking about a candy bar, but there's obviously deeper issues going on. But either
Something
way,
else.
bruh, that shit you got to work out between you and you. That has nothing to do with me. The second you invited me out of your situation by telling me you didn't want me around, that anything that moves past that point has nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with me at all.
You got to figure that shit out on your own. I don't owe you that either. Oh, you know, this is where I get into the whole like pet peeve thing about closure. You know, I don't owe you closure. I don't owe you, well, you got to explain to me why you could treat me this way. I don't have to explain jack shit to you now. I don't owe you.
Nothing to you.
I don't owe you that. You know what I mean? Oh, you got
Yeah.
to tell me why you would give to one person but not give. No, I don't. I don't owe
I
you
really
that
don't.
because that's what you wanted.
You specifically said 0 interactions. That's what you said.
Right. Now
And
give me
like you,
zero
James, like we talked about this a couple of months back, and I remember calling in and saying, because I'm one of those people, I don't need closure. I'm not one of those. Well, we need to have no. Again, if you tell me one time this relationship is over, I'm done, and I'm moving on. Oh, okay. I'm not blowing you up. Well, why? What did I do? What can I? Oh, okay. You gone? All right, cool.
Right. You should go.
That's
Don't let
it,
me
and that's
hold you.
all.
Yeah, I mean, don't let me hold
I
you.
don't need right. You need some help getting your things? No, that's one of the things my ex-husband hate about me. I don't need all of that. Let's figure out where we went wrong. No, we don't gotta do all that. We don't have to do all that. It's not working. Cool. All right. That's it, and that's all. So, but like I said, I'll give y'all an update as I get them.
Yeah.
I'm interested to find out more though, because nobody really was talking too much today. I'm sure the lips are going to be loose by this weekend. The lips will be loose by this weekend. I'll find out for sure what he really was pissed off about. Because it couldn't have been the candy bar. It just couldn't have been the candy bar.
Right. Right.
That was something else. I don't know. And even if I never find out, that's fine too. I really don't give a damn.
Yeah, that is
So,
weird.
Yeah, but yeah, I just want to give y'all a little something light to laugh at because I know I've been laughing my ass off all day thinking about it. Every time I look at the little Hershey bars, I just bust out laughing because it was the principal sitting there stuffing chocolate in her mouth, telling him he can go home. Like, sis, are you for real? Like, you really eating the candy bar in front of him, telling him he can go home? So they just started the giggles all over again.
Like, you need to run, yeah, right. You gotta run.
Like, I don't got time. But yeah, that's all I got tonight, James. But yeah, I like the new format. I like the topic. So relatable. So relatable.
And I appreciate that. Like I said, we're branching out, trying some new stuff. So as they say,
Linda said she never wanted Thursday to come so quick.
yeah, that is craziness.
Oh man. But all right, y'all. Good night, James. Thanks for taking my call.
No worries. Thank you for calling in.
See y'all Thursday.
All right. Awesomeness. Yeah, you know. And this is why they say don't be messing with people at work sometimes, because some people just can't handle it, you know. Like, you tried, it don't work out. My man going crazy over candy bar. There's no way you could date for like 2-3 weeks, maybe a couple months, and all of a sudden you break up and this guy's okay with it. You know what I mean? He cried over some candy bar. Lord have mercy. Like I said, you give him the other sweet stuff. My man he might show up there and try to lay everybody down. That is crazy. That is crazy. Before we go, I want to make sure I give a huge shout out to Cat. Well, give a cat shot Kathy Moran. She's always been around. OG, triple OG, Linda, Negla, Megatron, who called in. You know, everybody called in. Give a shout out to once again, we're gonna give a huge shout out to Jody Pierce. Scholar called in for the first time on Saturday. I told you I'm looking forward to talking to you again, Jody. She has some very interesting insights on life and everything. Kind person. Yeah, guys. Give a huge shout out to the Mega Mod Squad. Without them, you know, this channel will probably be in shambles. So big shout out to Lizzie B, Brittany Not Brittany, Caramel Cuties, like holding us down, keeping us on track, keeping us moving forward, as well as everybody who supports the channel. I really do appreciate you guys, especially during this time of transition as things are in flux. The hardest thing you can do, like I said during one of my speaking points, is one of the hardest things you can do is deal with the fear and the uncertainty of change and how you deal with that fear and that change. And this channel, is we're moving forward, is undergoing an evolution. We're changing, and we cannot move in fear. We're going to move courage, with courage. We're going to move assuredly, and we're going to move forward is what we're going to do. Because I think we have more to offer than just criticism of Cody Brown and Robin Brown. I think that there's more to it, even as demonstrated and illustrated by the conversations I've had tonight, and even in previous evenings. Negla 3, her stories with Linda, Megatron, and having those conversations, it reveals that there's more to it, and people have life experiences and stories and wisdom that they can pass on that isn't limited to just the goings on in polygamy. So we're going to start exploring that. We're going to get into some bigger issues, some bigger topics moving forward. As expressed when we first started, just so people know, this channel, My Take on Reality, will be focused, I think starting next week, will be focused primarily on like produced content. It depends on if I get my piece cut. I just finished the wow, I just went blank. I just finished basically my palette yesterday. Where I'm able to start cutting the wood the way I want to, so I can do the images and stuff I want to do on the wood. So and I want to put that in my studio, and that's kind of been my holdup, just getting my artwork down. But if things move forward and progress the way, hopefully on the timetable I have planned, I'll be able to start rolling this out and producing my production videos, which will be on the show. It'll be shorter videos, but it'll include things like crime, true crime, opinions, things of that nature. Still talking about some issues. My Take on Reality Live. That's where I'm going to do the live shows. So make sure that you're subscribed to both channels. If you're interested more in like the live stream podcast type stuff, My Take on Reality Live is the channel for you. That's where we have the longer form content, 2-hour conversations, 2+ hours sometimes. And on the My Take on Reality channel, that's where we're going to do a lot of the produced shows. So we're just branching out that way to make it easier for folks. All right. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And again, let's keep everybody in mind as far as the hearts in the chat. Again, just hearts in the chat real quick for Kitty, Negla, Brittany Not Brittany, Jody, Periscala, Carmel Cuties, Megatron, Miss Betty, Kathy Ferran, Allison Gatus, Marlo Peterson, and team, Ty, Lit Mom, Susie Q, anybody who needs it, the military people, their families, their friends, and their communities, keep them in mind. Yeah, I mean, as we move forward, we can even hear like with people relaying their stories, people have lost family this year, people have lost the fabric of the foundation of their households and things, and they're going through some tough times. So we want to keep people in mind. All right, and support each other, because that is the whole purpose of this channel, is for us to be able to support each other. Darlene Hall, what's going on? So thank you guys so much for bearing in there with me as we make these changes. And I shall talk to you again on Thursday. I want to be doing some speak pipes. I want to try to, if you guys want to leave speak pipe messages, I want to cover speak pipes every time I do a live. So it just won't be one night. All right. But we will be talking about some speak pipes this Thursday. Any speak pipes that I have backed up in my system, we're going to cover those and clear those out. And then we'll just address the speak pipes every time we do a show. All right. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. Have a great evening. Have a great rest of your week. If I don't talk to you, for the members and the people who come in on Saturday, I shall talk to you on Saturday for sure. Thank you so much. Have a great night. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been My Take on Reality. And I'm out.